I had to take a minute and drop this video really quickly and just let everyone know. If you don't know, you heard it here first on the David Seaton Show. The Democrats are going to lose the midterms next year in 2026 because they just don't get it. I've got the perfect example for you. Brandon Johnson actually spoke yesterday, Labor Day, at a rally for Labor Day, and he's going to just go down the line and check all of the boxes of why the Democrats have lost and continue to lose. Take a listen at this.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago. We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago. And we got the baddest freaking labor movement in the city of Chicago, birthed right here.
I just have to stop for a second. So think about this. You just had one of the most deadly Labor Day weekends in the city of Chicago. He gets up on Labor Day and talks about no federal troops in the city of Chicago. Again, just completely tone deaf.
We're going to take this fight across America, but we got to defend the home front first. And the best way we defend the home front is to make sure that every single worker has a livable wage. That's why we abolished the sub-minimum wage in Chicago for brown and black women. They get raises on top of their tips. This is the city of Chicago, where we have given paid time off for over 1 million workers, 10 days off, the biggest city in America to ever do it. This is the labor movement, you all. On pace to build more affordable units, a teacher's contract that protects black women, a teacher's contract that protects the LGBTQIA community, the teacher contract that protects immigrants. This is the greatest freaking city in the world. We're Chi-Town.
So I had to look up the numbers on this. He starts off by saying that they gave a livable wage to black and brown waitresses. Okay, so there are 2.6 million people in the city of Chicago. So I had to go back and look it up. There are approximately 67,000 people who work in the city of Chicago as waiters and waitresses. Approximately nationwide, approximately 11.9% of waitresses are black women. So out of the 67,000 waiters and waitresses in the city of Chicago, 7,973 of them, just about 8,000 of them, are those black women to whom he is speaking. So just think about that for a second. In a city of 2.6 million people, he's bragging that he got wages up for 8,000 black women. He didn't say it for all women, because obviously there's more than just black women who are working as waitresses, but he specifically says black women. Then he moves on and talks about the teacher's contract that they got a livable wage. He's looking out for black and brown women teachers and protections for the LGBTQIA plus community. That community, the LGBTQ community, is 1% of the population. Does not mean that they shouldn't, they're equal, they should have equal rights as everyone else. But every single time you get up and speak, you're speaking to these smaller and smaller groups that can't get you reelected. Black women are about 6% of the voting electorate. The LGBTQ community, again, less than 1%. Why is that important? Because every time he gets up and he speaks to these subgroups, you are ignoring the larger majority who needs to vote for you. And what does that do? It drives those people directly into the arms, the waiting arms of Republicans.
Now look, there are some people that have doubts in the labor movement. There are some people believe that we don't have the power to beat authoritarianism. But I'm also a history teacher as well. We have stood up for the interests of workers before, and we will do it again. And no matter what comes from the White House, Chicago will always be a labor town. Are you with me, Chicago? Now finally, we have seen this president shift the largest concentration of wealth into the hands of the few. Justice Brandeis made it very clear. He said we can either have a democracy or we can have wealth in the hands of the concentrated few. But he says we cannot have both. Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people, a land that is built by workers? Are you prepared to defend this land? The people united will always prevail. I need you all to stand firm.
And of course, he has to do the obligatorily gratuitous reference to slavery. Again, newsflash. Slavery is a scourge on humanity. Slavery is a scourge on the history of the United States. But the United States is one of the last countries of the 19th century to have slavery. Every ethnicity on this planet at one time in their history has been subjugated by another group. It is completely, again, when you say a country that was built by slaves and by indigenous people, everybody who came to this country, when the original settlers, when the original colonizers came to this continent, everybody took a part in building this country. But again, when he goes out of his way to mention slavery and indigenous people and how they built the country, whatever percentage of their contribution that built this country is not even the point. I stipulate that. But the point is that by saying that entire speech that he gave is ostracizing the larger majorities of individuals whom any politician needs to have their support in order to be elected or to be reelected. And the reason why I titled this video, "The Democrats Are Going to Lose," is because Brandon Johnson is a microcosm of the Democratic Party today. They even had a meeting earlier this year where they were meeting about how they needed to craft their message because they needed to understand how to speak to men. How don't you know how to speak to half of the species? But again, Brandon Johnson is a microcosm of the larger Democratic Party. They have lost the plot. They have the appearance of only caring about criminals, only caring about immigrants, only caring about the smallest groups of people, and they are ignoring the larger groups and going after the very people who are in those larger groups, trying to tax them to pay for their socialist ideas. Again, Brandon Johnson he's not the symptom. He's not the symptom. He's the problem. People like him, people who think this way, who have taken over the Democratic Party, are the problem. And I hate to say it, I think we need a healthy two-party system. I think there are good ideas from both Democrats and Republicans. But right now, all of the ideas coming out of the left, with Brandon Johnson being their standard bearer in Chicago, Illinois, the Democrats are not only going to lose the midterms, they're going to lose badly. And it's because of ideas like this.